Hello, 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 and welcome to a webinar with Velocix today. We're going to talk about how AI is powering streaming operations. That means we're going to talk about efficiency, about performance and control, and how all that also works together with managed services. Some operators are already far ahead in the game. Others have to catch up a little bit. So we're going to talk about learnings, about success factors, and of course also some of the pitfalls. Because ultimately, your streaming experience will shape the customer experience, and you want that to be really great and outstanding. My name is 𝗫𝗏𝗏𝗫𝗏𝗏. I'm happy to be a moderator today and the host. In my day job, I'm advising and challenging some of the thought leaders and operators, innovators of this industry to connect the dots. That's what we're going to do here today, talk about various topics that eventually will help you, your audience, to improve your streaming operations. A few words about housekeeping. We'll have a recording. We're going to send you the link in a few days to the email that you used to register. And of course, we have Q&A, so you can send us a question anytime it pops up in your head. Just use the widget here and the Zoom client, send it. We'll have reserved some time at the end to get to your questions. But now let's jump in. I have three fantastic panelists. They have three things in common. They all work for Velocix, and their first name starts with a J. I get the idea if you're an expert at Velocix, your first name has to start with a J. It's Jim, Jay, and João. Jim, maybe you as a CEO, maybe please introduce yourself and the company. Great to have you here all.
Thank you, Andy. I am Jim Brickmeier, CEO of Velocix. Thanks everybody for joining. If you're not familiar with Velocix, we're a global provider of origin server, content delivery network, and control plane solutions, including analytics platforms, as well as services for the video streaming industry. Happy to be here today. AI is clearly the big topic of the year. And we're getting set up here to head to the NAB show, and looking forward to talking to folks about this. So it's a great time to be having a chat here.
Great. Thank you, Jim. And next, Jay.
Hi, Andy. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining today. My name is Jay. I'm based in Chennai, India, and I'm with Velocix for a little more than 10 years, basically in the streaming industry for a little more than 10 years. In my current role in Velocix, I'm heading the managed services division. So my team is responsible for running the global operations of streaming TV providers across Europe, Asia, and Americas. So we are here to talk about how AI is powering the streaming operations today. So I'm very excited to talk about the topic that I'm quite excited about these days. Thank you.
Super cool. Thanks for being here, Jay. And from Portugal, not so far from me because I'm in Lisbon today. João, you're also in Portugal, right?
Yeah, that's correct. And really, I'm based in Lisbon. So my name is João Tavares. I'm the product manager for Velocix Analytics. And then basically my job is to transform the way our customers can get really good insights using our analytics tool in a daily basis, and also business insights for more strategic decisions that they need to take in the future.
Good. So I'm looking forward to an interesting discussion here. We have a certain amount of topics we're going to cover, but let's start with the basics, right? So there's tons of data and it's more and more, but just having data doesn't give you where to do the actions, right? So you need analytics. They need to be really well, ideally real time, but then you need to transform analytics to insights that are actionable. So maybe, João, I start with you. So what kinds of real-time insights make the biggest difference? Because you can have tons of them and KPIs, but what are the ones that really make a difference?
Yeah, well, in fact, our approach is based on the three-layer kind of insights or categories. The first is definitely the quality of services together with the quality of experiences. So we get information and data from buffering events, startup time, bitrate stability based on CM/CD logs, for example, and we correlate together with data from our CDN, for example. So each ratio from the CDN, response time on the request, and so on. Okay, so when you see unusual patterns, for example, 15% of a specific region suddenly are buffering, and at the same time we are seeing on the CDN side an increase on the response time, we can catch it in seconds. So that's where the real time makes difference. But again, we really need to be expertise and select the best metrics to be efficient and cost effective, in fact. So the second layer, it's basically what we call infrastructural metrics, right? Origin, compute utilization, cross-region latency. And this one will tell you bottlenecks that are forming on the system, on underlying system and platforms, and that you can avoid to cascade, and ultimately we want to avoid to impact the viewer, right? And the last one, it's now starting to be leveraged more and more by the AI stuff. It's what we call behavioral signals, right? Session drops, then geographic anomalies, device-specific issues. If an Android device in Portugal suddenly drop more than usual, you need to know why, and it could be a codec issue, a ISP routing change, or some legitimate outage. But that's the part where we are seeing that AI can bring more and more value in the next upcoming months, not even years. So the magic happens when you correlate everything, right?
And you mentioned there's a third layer.
Sorry, can you repeat?
You mentioned there's a third layer.
It's the behavioral signal. So first one is quality of service and quality of experience. The second is the underlying infrastructure. The third layer is basically leveraged by AI. It's the behavioral signals, the patterns that AI can catch for us. And that's really the new and the ultimate layer that we want to leverage in the upcoming months to our customers.
Okay, so where do operators really need to focus on? So what's the starting point if this is new to them? Is it the QoS, the infrastructure? Is it the behavior? Is it all at once? What do you recommend them? How do you go about it?
The joint that brings more value to the customers and really good insights, it's when we correlate the quality of services from, for example, from CDN with the quality of experience from the player, both together. Because we have not only what we are providing, but the feedback, the immediate feedback loop that the player or the viewer is feeling in real time. And this joint, it's definitely the one that it's bringing more value today in real time, let's say that, in that specific case.
So you're saying AI can, I mean, there's more and more AI being thrown at all sorts of problems, right? So predicting issues, making real-time decisions. At the same time, workloads go up. You have distributed architectures. We're going to talk about that a bit later. And of course, it needs to be performing and needs to be resilient. So ideally, we had the cloud native era in the past. Now we'll become AI native.
Yeah.
But what does that really look like in practice? So Jim, maybe a question to you. When you talk to operators, where do they get the best returns, the best ROI in AI in operations, and what's changing?
Yeah, sure. So there are a variety of topics for AI that are like the first items that are being looked at in terms of areas to be addressed. One of the first ones is around security. There's a sizable challenge in the content delivery network industry focused on CDN leeching, which is effectively theft of CDN bandwidth from illegitimate sources. And AI has the capability to do things that are more difficult for a human to do in terms of being able to do things in scale. So it can look at data sources and define patterns and signatures using multiple different types of data to try to identify patterns and see whether you can detect and prevent or actually act on leeching in real time. So that's one of the areas that we see a lot of interest in AI. We also see in terms of optimization, route optimization for the CDN and efficiency in terms of the caching as being a place that AI can add some efficiencies to the CDN. AIs have a lot of data, so the CDN network, the origin servers, and so on, as well as client-side data. It's very, very rich with data, and data is the lifeblood of how these AI algorithms work. So there's a lot of information to use. The question is, which is relevant, what is relevant out of that massive amount of data to actually influence how the systems work. And then one of the other places is around operations. So we hear a persistent challenge and pressure from our customers in trying to reduce the amount of operational expenditure, try to reduce the amount of effort involved in managing and maintaining platforms. And Agentic AI in particular offers us a way of applying Agentic AI, which is effectively an autonomous framework for spinning up different types of services that can perform different activities and act as sentinels in the system, look for items where things are need some attention. And Agentic AI can take immediate action on those if operators are comfortable with that scenario of autonomous agents taking action. It can go out and actually fix problems predictively, responsively when it sees things, and make a big difference in terms of reducing the amount of effort. And our expectation over time is operational costs can come down as well.
Okay, so thank you, Jim, for painting the agenda of the remaining 50 minutes, because we're going to tackle each one of them one by one now. So let's maybe start with the CDN leeching, right? The pirates never sleep, and unfortunately, it's becoming easier for them than, let's say, 10, 20 years ago, where you had to have really sophisticated electron microscope, glitch attacks, and so on. Now it's just you take the movie, you scan it, you capture it, you restream it, and you use the CDN of the operator ideally as a pirate. AI helps them, but AI also helps the operator to strengthen the defense. So what's needed to be successful? So, and I know you work also together with some of the security vendors to harden all this. So give us a bit of an idea of where are we in this battle? What do operators need to do? I don't, Jim or Jay, whoever wants to answer.
Yeah, I can start. I can start, and then Jim, maybe you can take over. So we take content security with the utmost importance and priority. So from managed services perspective, we ensure that our customers are on top of the game. So our CDN, Velocix CDN, is equipped with all the capabilities and features that helps to strengthen the security. For example, be it token-based authorization, geofencing. So I can go on and on with the features that CDN provides. So as managed services, what we do is we ensure that periodically we do a security audit of our customers' networks, and we ensure that the configurations are up to date. They are making use of the configuration that is available, and also whether their security signatures are latest and up to date. So that is something that we take from managed services perspective. When it comes to usage of AI in strengthening the security, so we are implementing something that enables real-time monitoring of the security incidents. So basically, security incidents, there is a pattern to it, right? There could be many streams from a certain IP or a subnet. There could be too many streams suddenly coming up, targeting a certain asset. So we train our AI models with these patterns of security incidents that have happened in the past, and try to attach a scoring system for the various kinds of incidents. We call this the threat score. Okay, and so based on this learning, the model is able to predict the new or the real-time patterns and data, and is able to attach a threat score to the live traffic. And so that helps us to assess the kind of security incident that is happening, and take preventive action or evasive action based on the threat score. So yeah, that is one way that AI is helping us in doing the real-time monitoring based on the patterns that we have seen before.
Yeah, and I think the key in that statement is real time. What we see from the folks that are leeching from CDNs is that, number one, they're highly adaptable. So number one is if you think you see a signature today, that may not be the same signature tomorrow, that there are changes that happen. from day to day, month to month, and circumstance to circumstance in terms of how people are stealing CDN capacity. Beyond that, the times when this happens are also short duration oftentimes. So we're looking at sports events where people are trying to gain access to high quality live content. They'll connect into the CDNs and then they'll be gone. So you can't, it's not the kind of thing that you can take action on later. You need to take action on immediately. And this is where AI is quite good at fast detection of those variations in the signature and looking at many, many different variables to identify those scenarios that look highly likely to be CDN theft events.
Okay. So Jay, you said managed services have a big impact also for CDN leeching or to fight it. What are the other day-to-day challenges you take off your customers when you offer managed services? What is most effectively addressed by AI workflows? So where does AI play the biggest role in managed services?
Sure. So both you and Jim referred about the huge amount of data that the operators have to deal with, right? I can give some perspective on that, right? So nowadays there is no dearth of observability platforms and dashboards. So everyone is equipped with a lot of metrics, but these metrics gets churned out every few seconds. Okay, so that adds to the volume of data that the operator has to deal with. On top of that, there are product documentations, there are previous case histories, there is a constant noise of alerts that are coming in day-to-day operations. So operators need to differentiate what is the right alert versus the noise. So this is what I term as the huge volume of data that operators have to deal with on a daily basis. And this is where AI can make a difference. So today, the popular use case for AI is coding. So everyone is talking about coding, code agents, vibe coding, and all that. But the very first use case for AI was something called RAG, Retrieval Augmented Generation. So basically, using LLMs to train them on the local enterprise knowledge and use that training to fetch the relevant information for internal engineers. So for operators where we are dealing with this amount of data, it becomes very difficult to act in real time. So whether a given alert is a fake alert or a real alert, where should I look for the mop for this operation that I'm going to carry out, or this incident? Is there a past history of this incident? How was it resolved in the past? So there are too much information, but for a human to find out what to do when is a big challenge. I would say that is the main challenge for any operator. And what we have done is we have implemented these RAG agents that are trained for specific knowledge, say product-based knowledge or previous case history knowledge. So there are specialized agents for each of this knowledge base. And with the help of these agents, we can quickly retrieve the data when an incident occurs or when a new alert occurs. It quickly tells you what to do. What is the action to take, whether it's a real alert or not. So I see this as one of the very powerful use case, and we have already put to use this one, and it is helping us in a big way.
Okay, interesting one. So the agents do the work. There's a lot of autonomy being introduced into the operations. So we take it to autonomous streaming delivery. It's probably still needs a few people. But question to you, João. Autonomous streaming delivery can mean many things to many people. So what does it look like today? And how does it really help you to focus on the important things? So less manual intervention, improve performance, but how do you build the trust that these things actually work and not hallucinate?
Yeah, definitely. So basically autonomy today, it's not fully self-driving. Okay, that's where we are today. It's not yet there, but it's more about the intelligent assistant delivery. So what we are seeing is, for example, our analytics based with real-time data and AI, it's feeding real-time decisions into specific automation flows. So you have machine learning models consuming CDN, player, network condition metrics, and so on, and they will trigger operational actions or enhance configurations. Like, let me give you an example, bitrate switching or server selection or routing decisions. So all without waiting for human input, but it's really triggering automation flows yet. So AI is still in the part of detecting and assist the automated action that will go on after. The key, again, with more value here is the feedback loop. So AI, basically machine learning models and one maybe small LLMs, analyze the performance data in real time, identifies the patterns, like a specific geography performs better on a specific edge server, and then automation flows triggered by the AI will apply those insights immediately. Okay, so that's where we are. Okay, you reduce daily basis manual operations and tuning from hours to seconds, but yet assist in an assisted way. Okay.
Okay. I was recently at an event by Microsoft, an AI symposium, and somebody there said 2026 is the year of AI agents. Would you agree to that? I see you nodding.
Yeah. I'm saying yes with my head because it's exactly what we are building already this year. And in fact, we are already proof of concepts internally. So for example, let me give you an example. We are building and productizing an agent that it's basically a root cause analysis agent, a specialized one that knows exactly the metrics that we consume, knows exactly the product documentation and that we have, and it will give you, again, an assisted root cause analysis, showing what is the anomaly and what is the most likely root cause to that anomaly, driving you, again, assisted to the action that you need or the recommendation action that you need to perform on production. So definitely, I fully agree with that. This is just one agent example, of course. Also, we are trying to build a specific CDN leaching agent, right? Again, the same data, but now considering all the most likely strategies to leach the content, and it will focus only on that specific use cases. So definitely, I think 2026, it will be the year of agents on our industry. I will not say like broad agents, but really specialized agents that trigger the most valuable use cases that we need to battle today. For example, leaching.
Yeah. Is would you say your control plane that in the past it was like all the knobs and dials and that you have, is that becoming agentic as well?
Exactly. So in fact, the vision that we have for the control plane is as the brain that sits above your entire delivery infrastructure. So it will ingest the data from every video pipe component that you have, CDNs, origins, network, all that stuff, and creates a unified picture of what's happening and what you should automate or trigger the action to enhance the delivery. So AI layers definitely will be on top of the control plane, and it's the natural seat that it will take on the control plane.
Yeah.
So that means, sorry, Jim.
I think, Andy, when you look at agentic as well, we talk about agentic as if it's a singular thing, but in fact, what we're talking about here is an assemblage of different LLMs that can work together. So I think the concept of agentic as working as a team, as a virtual team, and as an extension of the teams that we as Velocix and our customers as well have, the key benefits to this agentic capability is that you can extend your team with these virtual, effectively employees, right? And each of them has their own unique talents. So different LLMs are good at different tasks, and they keep each other honest if you use them properly in coordination, where they can actually not only detect and identify, but check each other's work to make sure that there's not any AI hallucination or other kinds of things that take place. It can raise questions of itself Reviewing work to make sure that work is completed in a thorough manner. And then also, in certain cases, we'll get false positives or items where things may not go exactly as planned. How does an AI react to that, learn from it, and then correct itself moving forward? And so it is an interesting topic, the discussion of how autonomous do operators, our customers, want their systems to be. Do we want a man in the loop for every function, or are there certain functions where you say, yeah, no, we don't need to be in the middle of it, because the benefit is the real-time response within the workflows. So it is an interesting topic, and one that we're discussing with customers at an upcoming technical advisory board meeting.
Yeah, so I wonder, what is how ready are the operators for that? I guess some are fully embracing it, others have concern. I mean, is there, or maybe paint the extremes, or what's the landscape? Everybody, yes, let's go and fine, or are there a lot of concerns still?
Yeah, well, I think you even see inside of organizations that there's a varying degree of acceptance of AI as being a reality of what is ahead of us, right? So we have, even within our own business, we have folks that are building software in their spare time. Like, these are not developers, right? They're non-developers building new functionality, leveraging AI to expand the capabilities of our services team. Sometimes in the case of our products, features that we can develop proof of concepts very, very quickly. And then, of course, you always have folks that don't have direct experience with some of the latest AI capabilities, that are distrustful of it and look at it like, hey, I don't really want to hand this over, or are concerned as to whether it's going to encroach on their own the value that they're providing to their respective organizations, which are all fair points, right? We have seen in the tech space that we have a lot of large hyperscalers that their workforces are changing to align with AI, and that is a reality of the technology, is that it affects the entire organization and how organizations work, and what skill sets are absolutely critical for people to have versus what can be done by these LLMs. And so that's a discussion. There is no set answer to that, and that's why we've set up a new technical advisory board to meet with some of our largest customers and have these discussions to try to figure out where is that threshold, and how do we allow operators to modulate that in accordance with their own policies and comfort.
Yeah, because I think it's a super good idea to do that, because technology will work, but it's the human. Maybe fear is a too strong word, but what are the concerns and what is the mindset? Some of the teams will need to be convinced and comforted that this is the right thing, and that no, it's not, their job is in danger. That's a transformational journey that to do, and I think a customer advisory board is the cool thing to do that. Very good, because in the end, it sounded like, yes, there's one network and there's agents running on it, but as a matter of fact, not true, right? Because we have often talked about hybrid cloud architectures, multi-CDN, multi-cloud. So you add layers of complexity on top of all that, distributed environments, on the edge, on-prem. So how do you orchestrate all that and maybe optimize on the fly? Is AI also in the orchestration? Jay, you do managed services. How you do that?
So yeah, when it comes to hybrid cloud and the cloud-based architectures, definitely the complexity gets multiplied. The cloud definitely brings in a lot of efficiency and flexibility, whereas quickly the inefficiencies can add on. Right. So one is the complexity that we are talking about of managing different diverse networks. So what we do in managed services is, so we have a single pane of dashboard for the end-to-end service, whether it's cloud deployment or on-prem deployment. We have a single pane of dashboard. So we have a single view of the overall network. Okay, so that is how we address the complexity of cloud architectures. Other inefficiencies that can creep in when we are operators going for hybrid architectures or things like storage inefficiencies. Quickly cloud costs can overrun due to storage inefficiencies, network inefficiencies, and data egress costs as well. So there are now available autonomous agents on cloud that constantly keeps a watch on your billing details, and it can even provide recommendations on how to optimize these inefficiencies that I talked about, like storage or network inefficiencies. They kind of optimally manage the cloud infrastructure by suggesting like where we can optimize on the cost. Okay, for example, when it comes to storage, we can find out the usage pattern and kind of store different long tail and short tail content in different regions of the cloud or different storage buckets based on the cost. When it comes to network efficiencies, this agents that the FinOps agent that I talked about, it can provide recommendations on how to better optimize the network so that the data transfer is within an availability zone or within a region, so we are not charged for the egress costs. So yeah, AI is quite useful in optimizing these inefficiencies in the cloud. And from our customers, as I said, we manage through a single pane of dashboard so that these complexities are not seen by our customers. They see the end-to-end service and the quality of experience that their customers get. That is what matters to them.
So, there's lots of challenges if you do all that on your own. You obviously don't do that just for one customer, but for multiple. Is that like that single plane of truth, the single dashboard? Is that one of the main benefits that comes with a managed service? Maybe just if you want to, what are the top 3 benefits people say? Why would they go for managed service rather than doing it on their own?
Yeah, the single pane of control is definitely one of the top benefit. So with that, we don't miss a beat, right? With diverse systems, it's easy to miss an incident because it becomes complex for the operations team to go and monitor each and every network. So a single pane of dashboard really optimizes that. That I would say is one of the top benefit. The other things are the expertise that we offer. So the fact that we are managing these networks for tier 1, tier 2 operators, the expertise that we provide to our customers, and we keep them up to date with the features and all that. So that is definitely another benefit for the managed services. And those are the top benefits.
Okay, good. So managed services, crazy complexity managed by AI, making things much easier. Let's talk about money. All right, there's clearly a pressure to save cost. We have a memory crisis that will probably still live for some time. Operators scrambling to optimize things while increasing performance. Not always easy. So let's talk about where AI helps in that. Where is it delivering the best financial impact today? Because there's many things you can do and you can get lost in a lot of, there's a POC here and there's a demo there, but scaling is not always easy. So Jim, where do you see operators getting the biggest ROI on using it?
I think the first place that your mind goes when you think of the uses for AI are for cost savings kinds of activities, right? It's work that humans are doing right now that you would be able to take on using AI capabilities. In some cases, perhaps it opens opportunities where operators are looking at complexity in the network and trying to reduce complexity, and AI can abstract some of that complexity and make it such that those complexities become invisible to the operator and just get handled in the background by agentic functionality. But you also want to look on the revenue side. And some of the places that AIs have some capability is in terms of analyzing video and doing some semantic tagging of content, looking for ways for monetization, improved monetization of video traffic and viewership. And so there are quite a few things that can be explored on the monetization side to expose new revenue generation opportunities where you can monetize the viewership that you're already getting and perhaps cater to consumer behaviors, like how are people watching video? What specifically are they watching? How do you keep these people engaged as they begin watching? That there's quite a bit of behavioral information available within these platforms that can be used to enrich the consumer experience and try to drive some additional revenues from a streaming operator perspective.
Okay, so clearly helping also to often get cost savings, but also increase the way you monetize things. Okay. Very good. So before we go to Q&A, dear audience, if you have questions, send them at any time, also now, and we'll have one more block and then we'll get there. The future, let's talk about that. I mean, it's tough to predict. Sometimes they ask me what's happening in the next 3 months and I don't know, but I'll go bold and ask you what's happening in the next 2 years. So let's take that. So how will AI-driven streaming look like? Today we said it's still suggestions. It's not fully automation, right? Like when you said that, I was referred to the cars as level 3, level 4, level 5, right? So it's not fully automated. You cannot sit back and play the guitar, watch a video, have a cocktail while AI is driving all your operations. You're not there. How will it look like in, I don't know, 1 year, 2 years? Where is it going, and how do you prepare your operators to get there?
Yeah. So I'm seeing basically 3 pivotal shifts. So the first, I'm seeing edge AI inference taking place. So running machine learning models, they are more smaller, more efficient. So I'm seeing that path already happening. So running machine models, for example, at the edge, not in the centralized system, for example. This means that there is decisions that can happen at the source in microseconds with zero backhaul latency. So that I think will be also a game changing in real-time optimization. Okay, I'm seeing already some paths happening there. The second pivotal shift, for me, it's the network-aware delivery intelligence, meaning deeper integration with high-speed networks or even 5G infrastructure. So as networks get more programmable, CDNs, for example, won't just react to the network condition. They can actively collaborate with the network provider, or in fact, they can more or less predict, using that machine learning at the edge, predicts the network condition that will happen and trying to anticipate and adjust and offer a better service. So that's a second pivotal shift that I'm already seeing. And third, it's what we already, in fact, talk a little bit, but it's the Agentic AI system, but not a big one agent that will do everything. It's really a team of really specialized or expert agents, for example, the CDN expert, the root cause expert. So they will act and collaborative work together to get the proper insight. So that's how I'm seeing that will happen, at least in 1 year or a time frame, something like that. And of course, underpinning all of these, because it's the underlying thing that it's common, it's about data efficiency. And with this kind of hardware and computing costs rising, the winners, I think, will be those that extract all the data, the most reachable form that they need, in the most cost-effective way, okay? With the higher compression, with intelligence, selecting really the parameters that brings value to the insight. And I think that will be something that will definitely happen due to also to the context itself of the hardware market today, that I also believe that it will plateau a little bit in the next months or even years. Let's see.
What about the cost of AI itself?
Yeah, that's a good point. In fact, our approach is, and we are, again, that's why we are going to specific or specialized small agents. We are always also seeing specific LLMs or small LLMs that can run, for example, on top of CPU with really good performance. We are talking about 10, 12 tokens per second performance using just CPU. And definitely, that's also something that in fact, we are trying to adapt to the market. But I think also the industry or even other industries will understand that there is a lot of use cases on AI with agents that really do not need a big GPU underlying and backing everything. If you create a specific and small agent, you can use a small LLM that will be more than enough to do exactly what you need on that specific context. And then you have a bunch of LLMs that just need CPU, for example. So I'm also anticipating, and in fact, we are already experimenting that to battle or to tackle these unexpected rising hardware costs in the last months.
Okay. Jay, thank you, John. For managed services, what in your area, Jay, what do you think will be the biggest advancements of AI that will drive managed services?
Sure. Yeah, so my take on the future and the autonomous networks, say every operator's dream is to have a self-organizing network, right? Everything works by itself, and we are just there to just oversee it. That's the dream, right? But
just collect
I
the
would
money.
say, yeah, I would say AI as this is a journey, right? The self-organizing networks or self-organized networks is a journey that everyone is going towards. And I would say AI has tremendously accelerated that journey, right? It was always the dream. It was always the dream even before the AI, right? To have a self-organized network. Now AI has accelerated that journey. How it has done that is, so there are multiple points in this workflow of a self-organized network, right? From the monitoring, detecting an incident, identifying the root cause for the incident, identifying the procedure to correct the incident or mitigate the incident, and implementing the procedure. So there are multiple points in this workflow, and AI can make a difference in each of these points, each of these touch points of the workflow. And so by implementing a bunch of agents in each of these touch points, we can really accelerate the journey towards the autonomous network. That would be my key takeaway here.
Okay. And Jim, your point, how are you preparing your customers and prospects to actually get there?
Yeah. So, well, first of all, the way that we're looking at AI is that AI has the potential to effectively eliminate some of the historical norms and constraints that we have had, that operators have had, with respect to how much effort is involved, how much time is involved in performing certain functions, how many people are involved in performing certain functions. And with that comes a reevaluation of the entire approach to delivering content, right? Because some things that used to be difficult in the past now become easier. Some things that used to take years to accomplish now take days or months to complete. And so, so the question is, how far and how quickly can we adapt ourselves into this new AI framework? And that's the question. Is like you can actually move quite fast. The question is, can the operations, can the organizations actually, are they comfortable moving as fast as AI technology is actually moving? What we find in our own efforts with AI is oftentimes we are surprised at how evolved AI technology is and how much of a benefit we are able to get today with some of the AI capabilities. So 2 years from now, it will be substantially better than it is today. And so the question is like recognizing that we're not just taking AI and applying it into the workflows and the way of working that we have traditionally had, but looking at how is it going to be different when we get a couple of years down the road? What do upgrade cycles look like? How is that performed? What does it look like to provide a managed service? What does it look like to provide 24/7 support? what kinds of features can we introduce, and how fast can we introduce features into the network, are all things that are there. And then, of course, we have new problems that are coming. I've been reading a lot of articles this week about Q Day, which is the day in which quantum computing is going to hack encryption and make traditional encryption no longer valid for protecting things like content. And so items like that come in play as well into this AI framework. Is how do we deal with things like quantum computing and hackers and all of those security items that make it much easier for nefarious individuals to come and attack businesses. And so there are a whole new set of problems that AI opens up that need to be addressed beyond just like the historical problem. I actually think a lot of the historical problems that are based around constraints lessen over time with AI, but a whole new, highly sophisticated and difficult set of challenges is ahead of us. And AI is going to have to help us address those.
Interesting. So more challenges to come. AI has benefits, but with quantum computing, things will dramatically change. By the way, do you have a forecast on or did you read one? When is the Q Day going to happen? How far are we away?
Yeah, what you're reading these days is they've moved it up. So we're talking about 2029 or 2030, which when you look at the calendar, you're
not
thinking
that far away.
That's not very far away. And beyond that, one of the concerns right now is that actually some of these hackers are taking encrypted data today and storing it. Even though they know they can't hack the encryption today, they know that in 3 years, as this capability becomes available, they can go back to stored data and use quantum capabilities to decrypt stored data. So it's something that today, even though there isn't that quantum capability, there still is a need to protect the data today, because information that you may have within your platforms, whether it's content or we don't carry personal identifiable information, but if we did, technologies like that, that data is evergreen in terms of the damage it can do if it gets unencrypted. And so there are things right now in terms of the security of platforms that we need to protect against to make sure that people aren't taking encrypted data and then storing that for future use.
So it's interesting. It also means your role as a CDN origin provider is changing, right? So I think 5 years ago or 10 years ago, security was not the key concern. Or let's say less of a concern than today, and now it's moving fast. Yeah,
that's true.
Good. We're getting to Q&A. So dear audience, if you have questions for us, please send them to us. You have a little button at the bottom of your client saying Q&A. You send us a question. Don't use the chat. There's a specific button for that. There are already a few questions, so I'll get to them. But if you have some more, please send them. And from the ones we have, one I think is the interesting one. So if operators could only invest in one AI-enabled capability in the next 12 months, where would you say should they invest?
I can go with that one. I think the most straightforward AI capability that any operator can get immediate ROI, it's invest in an AI anomaly detection capability. Okay, it will really leverage a lot. Today we have the traditional, alerts based on fixed thresholds. AI, it will immediately show much more value because it will get the patterns. It will not just say to you what it's going wrong, but what could also going better, how you can improve. And definitely AI anomaly detection based on machine learning, specialized tables, and so on. Definitely, I think it's the best capability to get ROI immediately, or with a fast time window. Let's say the way.
Okay.
I would say, shall I answer for the question?
Yeah. Please, yes.
I would say ideally we should go full throttle we shouldn't choose any one use case. But given the question is one use case, I would say agentic would be the highly sought after use case. I think we need to, and operators need to start deploying agents for micro tasks, and they will see the benefits from that.
Okay. Jim, you also have an opinion?
Both good answers. I mean, I think ultimately the, with agentic, the point is to get started, right? And it really doesn't matter exactly which attribute you're working on first. I think the key for operators is to get started and make sure that, every operator has distinct problems, right? Some are dealing with constraints, staffing constraints. Some are dealing with security challenges. Some are looking for, they're struggling with margins. They're looking to grow their businesses, drive more revenue through advertising. And it may be distinct for any one of those. But I think the point is that whatever your top problem is, there's usually some solution set worth looking at that has some AI component to it. Not saying that will always be a perfect solution, but the time investment, and we're saying this in our own teams, the time investment in understanding how AI can transform your approach to these items and build in some autonomous function will pay dividends over time. So it is worth the time investment to really understand the capabilities. And as I said earlier, oftentimes we are surprised at how capable AI has become, even in we're in the relatively early days of AI. The capabilities are at times astounding, where you can have substantial positive impact to your network by adopting some of these capabilities.
How much of investment should go in actually coaching, training, do the change management for the employees? Because the technology is running so fast that how can you keep up with addressing the concerns of the people?
Yeah, it's absolutely one of the items that we look at when we talk about our services and managed services and so on. It's just getting AI knowledgeable and familiar with some of the terminology and how these things work. And it's actually not that hard to get through if you have the right source of information. We find that with our staff as well, like all of our staff has been going through transformation in terms of their knowledge and experience of how to leverage AI within their respective roles. But many of the AI systems are quite intuitive to use. And so you can quickly get an understanding of how you can get some practical benefits. And so that's what we're looking for anytime we look at customer systems in our own, or what are the things that we can get repeatable benefits from AI on. These are not obscure topics. These are core capabilities and functionality that we can take advantage of AI. And yes, absolutely. Like you don't know what you can do until you are educated enough on AI to recognize its core capabilities. And so we find every day we are having discussions about, hey, I wonder if we applied our LLMs to this particular problem, how could we do that? So there's just so many ideas that you can work with on this, and our customers are going through that same thing and trying to identify that. We're trying to help them through that process.
Okay, great. Different question here. When it comes to improving quality of experience, which real-time metrics matter most, and which ones are maybe a bit overrated? I like that one. Who want to take it? Take it.
It's good for João, I think.
Yeah, I can take it, that one. Okay, what are the metrics that matter most? Well, in fact, we are seeing that, but it needs to be together. It's the player metric, for example, buffer starvation, buffer length, and all that bit rate from the player together. What we are seeing on the CDN with response time, And for example, the timing that the broken down timing that we are taking to deliver that specific request to that player. So these 5 to 6 metrics together are really, really powerful specifically for the quality of experience, okay, not quality of services. But these 7 metrics together are probably like 90% of the value of quality of experience, not only monitoring, but fine-tuning, and really provide most live ultra-low latency, for example. That it will rely a lot on these metrics. So
yeah, I think it's clear. Like you mentioned, there are multiple metrics. So individual metrics may not themselves be as valuable as taking a holistic view, and that's some of the capabilities of AI that you have, is that you can infer from large data sets. You can gather information from many, many different variables, as opposed to just looking at a singular variable and saying, hey, that's how we're evaluating customer experience, is did the stream get delivered with high quality? Well, that may not be the full experience, right? So there are many data points that may come into play with how you are evaluating your performance and your business success. And this is where AI can kind of expand the range of data that you can access to try to draw some better conclusions and react more effectively.
So that there was one second part of that question. Are there any overrated KPIs that are being used, but actually that don't really impact QoE?
Well, some customers and operators for the QoE specifically, they also want to see always the bytes delivered, but that's more correlated with the quality of service. But we see that several customers always make a lot of importance of the quality of experience. But for me, from the quality of experience perspective, it's really overrated, the bytes delivered to a specific customer, because it depends on the bitrate. What we want is to enhance the experience, to be smooth, to be fast, to be low latency, right? And that's not really important in terms of how much bytes I delivered specifically to that customer. But yeah, it's overrated on the quality of experience. Definitely from the quality of service perspective, it's a golden KPI. No argument on that. Okay.
I can add to that. Not just quality of experience. Any metric, the overrated metric is, I would say, if operators or people tend to look at the average bitrate or average response time. That is not the right thing to do. They should look at the things like 95th percentile or 98th percentile, because often the average is misleading. It gives you a good value, but part of your network, a subset of your network is getting affected. So when you look at the 95th percentile, 98th percentile of any metric, that is when you will uncover real problems, even though it is affecting a smaller set, but there is a problem in your network.
Yeah,
so I would say that applies to many metrics.
Oh, yeah. I don't remember much from business school, but one sentence sticks with me. Managing by averages leads to below average performance.
Yeah.
You need to manage the extremes. That's where the music is. Talking about music, I think we need to play the end music, because we reached the hour. We could continue for longer. Thank you, dear audience, for being with us and for being interested in what we have to say. You get a link with the recording in a bit. Thank you, Jim, Jay, and João, for being here and sharing your knowledge and insights. And I think, Jim, you are going to NAB. So, dear audience, if you want to learn more about it, reach out to the team of Velocix. Go see them at NAB or send them an email. And it was a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having us. And have a great day. Thank you for being with us today. Bye. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Andy.
Thank you, Andy.
Thanks.